there, foodie friends! Today we're making a chocolate chip cookie assortment that is perfect for the holiday season. My name is Carly and welcome to my channel, Adventures in Yum. Before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, I have a passion for learning about creating and trying new foods, drinks, and especially desserts. If you want to join me on my yummy adventures, then please make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos every week. Now, let's dive into today's video. I've already shared how to turn one shortbread cookie dough into a holiday cookie assortment. Check the video out right there. Today, we're gonna do a similar thing with another classic, chocolate chip cookies. We start by whipping up some cookie dough. I made 2 batches of my chocolate chip chunk cookie dough, and before we add the chocolate, we split that into 4 different bowls. For the first bowl, I'm simply adding 4 to 6 ounces or 112 to 168 grams of a combination of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips and semi-sweet chocolate chunks. Here you can use whatever mix of chocolate pieces you want. I personally like to do a mix of sizes to create a variety of little pockets of chocolate in the cookies, so do what you like best. Once we've just mixed that together, we're adding it to a parchment paper lined quarter-size baking sheet that's been sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. We can use either a flat-bottomed object like a cup, or just use our clean hands to press the dough into a flat, even rectangle. Before we stick this in the fridge, we're adding extra chocolate chunks to the top to make it look extra pretty. How many do we add? As much as our heart's desire. For this batch, my heart told me to load that sucker up with more chocolate, so I did. After letting this chill in the fridge for at least a couple of hours, we pop it in a 350 Fahrenheit or 177 Celsius oven for about 25 minutes. Once they've completely cooled, we use a chef's knife to cut them into even squares, and for a holiday twist, we can decorate them with a drizzle of melted white chocolate and a sprinkle of festive sprinkles. I also took one of these cookie bars and made a Spider-Man design in honor of the new movie Spider-Man No Way Home. For our second cookie, we take some of the dough we divided earlier and add a combination of large dark chocolate chips and mini semi-sweet chocolate chips that adds up to about 4 to 6 ounces or 112 to 168 grams. We're reserving some of the large dark chocolate chips for later. We also add some chopped up holiday Oreo cookies, 6 cookies worth total, and add most of them into the batter but keeping a little bit for later as well. Once that's all mixed up, we scoop it out using a medium-sized cookie scoop onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet. It's okay to place them right next to each other because with this we're simply chilling them on this tray. After all the dough is scooped onto the tray, we add a large chocolate chip and some chopped cookie pieces and gently press them into the top of each cookie. Once that's done, we let these chill for at least a couple of hours or even overnight. We then place the chilled dough balls on a parchment paper lined baking sheet and spread them apart. We bake these at 350 Fahrenheit or 177 Celsius for about 13 minutes. Let them cool and then they're done. For our third cookie, we take yet another section of dough from earlier and add a combination of about 4 to 6 ounces or 112 to 168 grams of mini semi-sweet chocolate chips and a favorite Christmas candy like these Peppermint Crunch Junior Mints that I decided to add. In hindsight, this particular candy probably would have been better as a stuffing for the cookie rather than mixing it directly into the dough, but more on that in a little bit. Once that's all mixed up, we scoop it out using a medium-sized cookie scoop onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet. After all the dough is scooped onto the tray, we gently press mini chocolate chips into the top of each cookie. Once that's done, we let these chill for at least a couple hours or even overnight. We then place the chilled dough balls on a parchment paper lined baking sheet and spread them apart. We bake these at 350 Fahrenheit or 177 Celsius for about 13 to 16 minutes. As you can see, the fillings of the Junior Mints leaked out, so that's why I think this particular candy would have made a better stuffing. Right after these cookies came out of the oven, we can use a circular object like a cookie cutter or even a cup to help make these cookies more perfectly rounded. Just make sure that the cutter is bigger than the size of the cookies. It didn't work with the ones that had a lot of that sticky candy that leaked onto the parchment paper, but this is a very cool way to make your cookies look nice and uniform and pretty. Before we finish these cookies, if you're getting value out of this video, then please make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified about my latest video. Once these cookies are completely cooled, we can dress them up a little bit by dipping half of the cookie into melted dark chocolate, placing it on a piece of parchment paper, and adding some peppermint candy pieces. As soon as the chocolate hardens, the cookie is ready to enjoy. Our final cookie is one of my new favorites. To the remaining batter we set aside earlier, we add a packed teaspoon of orange zest, 1 teaspoon of orange extract, and then add a combination of large dark chocolate chips and mini semi-sweet chocolate chips that adds up to about 4 to 6 ounces or 112 to 168 grams. Just like we did with the holiday cookies and cream chocolate chip cookies earlier, we're reserving some of the large dark chocolate chips for later. After all that's mixed up, we scoop it out using a large size cookie scoop onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet. After all the dough is scooped onto the tray, we're leaving half of them plain and then flattening the other half of the cookies into discs, adding a little bit of cranberry jelly. This is actually my mom's homemade cranberry jelly sauce, and then closing up the cookie so now we have a cranberry stuffed orange chocolate chip cookie. Finally, we gently press a few dark chocolate chips into the top of each cookie. Once that's done, we let these chill for at least a couple of hours or even overnight. When we're ready to bake them, we spread these out on a parchment paper lined sheet and bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 18 minutes. Once they cool, they're ready to enjoy. These both smell and taste amazing, but one thing to keep in mind and that I'm working on troubleshooting right now is that after a few days the moisture from the cranberries will continue to re-soften the center of the cookies. So the cookies need to be thicker around the cranberries or else they do kind of fall apart. Either this week or next week I'll be trying out a cookie bar version because I think that'll work out really well with the cranberries. So keep an eye out for an update on how that goes in the community tab on my channel. I hope you give these a try because I really loved how everything turned out and I would love to hear from you on how much you love them too. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Happy holidays from my family to yours. You can find my scrumptious simple chocolate chip cookie recipe as well as the fun variations included in this video on my website adventuresinYum.net. The links are in the description below. If you're interested in checking out some of the products I used in this video, then please make sure to also check the description below for their Amazon links. Thank you so much for joining me today, foodie friends. I'll see you next time for another festively fun and yummy adventure.